Cleveland, we need to talk. The Browns are staring at a season that's slipping away, and the conversation around the quarterback position is reaching a boiling point, not just in barbershops and group texts, but across sports radio, national shows, and every Cleveland Browns forum. If you care about Browns news, Kevin Stefanski's decisions, and the quarterback depth chart, this is the moment to lock in. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell me in the comments, would you start Shedeur Sanders after the bye or stay the course? Your take might shape the next episode. Let's start with what had everyone buzzing after the latest press conference. Kevin Stefanski was asked again about Shedeur Sanders. What does he need to see? Where does Shedeur fit in plan? His response was the same refrain we've heard for weeks. He'll do what's best with players and team. There's no single thing he needs to see. That a fair, boilerplate coaching answer on its face. But because nothing concrete followed, no depth chart clarity, no acknowledgement of an obvious next man up scenario, fans heard something else. They heard hesitation. They heard a head coach sidestepping the name everyone is talking about. Critics drew comparisons to a famous Bill Parcells moment from the Terrell Owens era, when Parcells refused to say T.O.'s name and referred to him simply as the player. Whether you think that comp is fair or not, the perception in Cleveland right now is that Stefanski is keeping Shedeur at arm's length. When asked directly about the rookie, the answers feel careful, almost clinical. And in a city that lives and breathes quarterback debates, careful and clinical reads like distance and doubt. There's also a simple, practical point that has frustrated people around the league. Depth charts are fluid. When veterans move on and injuries pile up, players naturally slide up. You don't need a headline to call that official. By default, with veteran pieces no longer in the room, Shedeur Sanders has moved a step closer to action. You would expect that to be acknowledged plainly. Instead, the messaging has stayed vague. The Browns haven't posted changes to the website. There's no formal QB2 designation. And every time question comes, the answer is that it's about what's best for the team. Fair. But 1-5-0 to 3 in the AFC North. The team needs specifics, not just sentiments. All of this fuels the larger story. The Browns' offense is struggling, badly. 6 games in, Cleveland ranks last in points per game at 13.7. The passing game has been muted, producing just 5 passing touchdowns and hovering around 190 yards through the air per game, with one of the lowest yards per attempt figures in the league. That's not a slump. That's an identity issue. Rookie Dillon Gabriel has made 2 starts and, against Pittsburgh, finished with 221 yards on 52 attempts and no touchdowns. He's been tough, he's competed, and there have been flashes. But there hasn't been enough to change the trajectory of an offense that can't consistently threaten downfield or finish drives. In that context, the drumbeat for Shedeur Sanders grows louder every week. Former Brown star Hanford Dixon put it plainly on the Top Dog show on the Big Play Network. I want to see him get out there. He can maneuver. He can make plays. That sentiment echoes through Cleveland sports radio and across social media. Fans aren't calling for a savior. They're asking for a spark. A different look. A quarterback whose strengths align with what the modern NFL rewards. Mobility, improvisation, and the ability to extend plays when the first read isn't there. Let's be clear about what this conversation is and isn't. It's not a referendum on Gabriel's career after 2 starts. It's not a promise that Shedeur will fix everything overnight. It's an acknowledgement that the current formula isn't producing points. And the Browns have a talented rookie whose style could change the geometry of the field. Across the league, teams are embracing quarterbacks who can create outside structure, slide the launch point, and punish defenses when protection breaks down. Shedeur Sanders fits that profile. His college resume showcased pocket toughness, accurate throws on the move, and a willingness to attack windows without losing poise under pressure. This is also where the pre-draft chatter comes back into focus. When J.J. McCarthy went in the top 10, a lot of evaluators nodded and said, "Of course." But there were voices, loud ones, who felt Shedeur had a case to be drafted right alongside him on talent. Some even believed he was the more advanced passer today. Reasonable people can disagree, and time will tell. But that debate hasn't vanished. It lingers, and every week the Browns' offense struggles. It gets louder in this city. What's complicated this moment further is how the messaging around Shedeur has landed. Stefanski's careful phrasing has been interpreted by some as a lack of belief. Others see it as a standard coach protecting a young player. And there's been extra noise because of the name. Shedeur Sanders doesn't arrive alone. He carries a spotlight. Deion Sanders is box office and a strong voice in any room. It's no secret Jimmy Haslam respects him. Reports of a pre-draft dinner between Haslam, Deion, and Shedeur only reinforce that. Some fans speculate that this dynamic makes the coaching staff cautious about opening the door. Others roll their eyes and call that talk radio drama. The truth probably lives somewhere in the middle. What's undeniable is that perception shapes pressure, and right now the perception is combustible. The scoreboard, however, is the only thing that really matters. Cleveland's offenses lacked rhythm and explosion. The deep shots that keep defenses honest have been rare. The screen game hasn't consistently flipped field position. Red zone trips too often end in field goals, or worse. When your defense has to be nearly perfect just to give you a chance in the fourth quarter, the margins become razor thin. That's the story of the Browns season to this point. And it's why so many in the league are suggesting it's time to change something fundamental about how this unit operates. A change at quarterback is the most obvious lever to pull. The schedule offers a clean inflection point. A Week 9 bye to reset, followed by a test that will tell us a lot. If the Browns stumble again in Miami, it will be hard to argue against a pivot. Week 11 brings a divisional date with the Ravens, a defense that, at least on paper, provides a manageable environment to test a young quarterback if the staff believes he's ready. That kind of targeted timing, bye-week insulation, followed by a game plan tailored to a rookie, could minimize the disruption while maximizing the chance to catch an opponent off guard. Let's also speak to the other side of this. Moving to Shedeur too quickly carries risk. You've invested time into Gabriel. Pulling him now could dent his confidence and disrupt the chemistry he's developing with receivers, tight ends, and offensive line. Installing a new starter means new rhythms and protection calls, new preferences for route depths, new timing on option routes. Those things don't settle overnight. Stability matters. That's why coaches often resist fan-driven quarterback changes. They see the day-to-day and weigh costs the rest of us can't. But there is also a cost to inaction. If the Browns keep rolling out the same plan and keep getting the same results, you risk losing the locker room's confidence in the approach. Players want to see that performance earns opportunity. They want to feel like the staff is willing to adapt, not just talk about adapting. And they want to believe that the team is willing to do what the situation demands, even when it's uncomfortable. This isn't just about who takes the first snap. It's about what the Cleveland Browns offense wants to be. For years, fans have begged for more vertical shots, more variety in play action, and more urgency on early downs. After the loss to Pittsburgh, Hanford-Dixon didn't mince words. Something's wrong with that offense. We don't even attempt the big play down the field. In the AFC North, where you're measured by how you finish games in bad, whether with pass rushers in your face, you need an identity that travels. You need a quarterback who can turn a negative play into a positive one with his legs or his eyes, and keep a defense honest every snap. Shedeur Sanders checks those boxes on paper. He's not a run-first quarterback, but he can move the pocket and force linebackers to flatten their angles. He's comfortable throwing on the move, particularly to the field side. He can hit second window throws when a route breaks open late. He sees the middle of the field and isn't afraid to attack it. If the Browns marry those traits with layered play action, condensed formations to create free releases, and shot plays off heavy looks, they can reinvent how defenses prepare for them in short order. There's another layer here that matters in a city that has lived through more quarterback change than any fan base should ever have to endure. Hope. When you introduce a young, dynamic passer in a season that's teetering, you don't just chase wins, you restore belief. You give the defense a reason to empty the tank because they think the offense might pay them back. You give wideouts a little extra juice because a scramble drill could turn into 6. You give the offensive line a different launch point, so edge rushers have to think instead of tee off. Those things add up. They don't fix everything, but they shift the temperature of the building. All of that said, this decision will be defined by what happens on the practice field in the next 2 weeks. If Shedeur stacks good days, If he's sharp at protections, if he commands a huddle and shows timing with his top targets, he forces the issue. If he's up and down, then the staff will be justified in making him earn it over time. That's fair, but the time to find out is now. The bye creates space. The schedule creates opportunity. The standings create urgency. It's also important to address the narrative that's grown around Stefanski himself. He's earned a reputation as a measured coach who protects the locker room and never throws his players under the bus publicly. That consistency is a strength. But in moments like this, when the outside noise is deafening, clarity becomes a strength too. If Shedeur is QB2, say it. If he's one injury away from playing, say that. If the plan is to reevaluate after Miami, put that timeline on the record. You don't have to show your hand to opponents to show respect to your own room and to a fan base that sells out home games no matter the temperature or the standings. And for anyone asking whether Shedeur's last name complicates this, let's keep the focus where it belongs. Deion Sanders will always generate attention. That's reality. The Browns can embrace it, manage it, and channel it, or they can let it distract them. The only thing that matters is whether Shedeur can help the Cleveland Browns score points and win games. The rest is noise. Yes, ownership had dinner with Shedeur and Deion before the draft. Yes, Jimmy Haslam has long respected competitors with outsized personalities. None of that should or has to dictate who starts on Sunday. What should dictate that decision is what the film says, what the numbers say, and what the locker room feels. So where does this go from here? The most likely path is this. Cleveland evaluates everything during the bye, plays it straight in Miami, and if the offense stalls again, the franchise has an obvious pivot waiting in Week 11. That pivot would not be a gimmick. It would be a decision to lean into a style that better fits the personnel, a bet on the upside of a quarterback who can make plays off script and keep defenses honest. It would be a signal to the city that the Browns are not content to let the season drift. They're willing to try to rescue it. If that's the path, here's what fans should expect schematically. More sprint out and half roll looks to simplify reads and move the launch point. More RPOs to punish linebackers who get greedy. More layered routes that put corners in conflict. More tempo to prevent exotic substitutions. And most importantly, more defined shots off play action to give receivers chances down the field. That's how you build around a young quarterback with a live arm and functional mobility. You make the picture clearer, not more complicated. So I'll put it back to you. If you were making the call, would you make the switch after the bye? Would you give Shedeur Sanders a start in Week 11? Or would you stick with Dillon Gabriel and demand a different plan from Kevin Stefanski? Drop your thoughts below. Subscribe for more Cleveland Browns news, weekly breakdowns, and in-depth analysis of the quarterback room as this story evolves. And share this with a Browns fan who needs a clear-eyed look at where the team stands and where it could go. The season is not over. The AFC North is unforgiving, but opportunities remain. The Browns have a defense that can keep them in games. What they need now is an offense that can close them. Whether that comes from a recalibrated plan with Gabriel or a fresh start with Shedeur Sanders, the next decision will define the season, and maybe more. It's time to choose a direction and commit to it. Cleveland is listening. So is the league.